to Thursday's Low and Slow Yoga, brought to you by Mercy Health's Stepping Out program. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Michelle, and let's get comfortable and we'll get started. So we're just sitting in a nice, easy lotus position if that feels good, or whatever feels nice for you, so that you get a nice extension in your back, leaving lots of room for breath work. And let's just get comfortable and start listening to our breath. Trying to clear our minds. With every exhale, just let go. This practice, we like to hold our poses a little bit longer than usual. You'll work on your breath throughout the time together. In through your nose and out through your mouth as things get a little bit more difficult. All right, let's go ahead and press both palms together at our heart center. And let our chin sink to our chest. And we can set our intention for our practice here this evening. What do you hope to get out of your time on your mat? Let's release our hands down to both sides, and we'll lift our heads up nice and slow. All right, with our arms now, we're going to inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up. As we exhale, we'll bring our arms to our cactus pose. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. And exhale to cactus. Let the fingertips come to the shoulders. Very gently begin twisting our back. And slowing down, we'll bring our right hand to our left knee. Left hand will wrap around our back. Straightening up, look over our left shoulder. In a seated spinal twist. Release back to the front and bring those fingertips back to our shoulders and twist once again. Slowing down so that we can bring the left hand to the right knee, right hand back around us, back nice and straight as we look over the right shoulder. And release to the front. Both hands down by our sides. Right hand is going to reach up and over. Side bend here. Lengthening that right side Shoulders are stacked. Both sits bones are anchored. Maybe give a peek up to the ceiling or sky, whatever you have the pleasure of looking up to. And we'll bring that right hand so we're side to side with the left hand. And slowly walk the hands around. We're going to give a pause when you get to the center. And try to relax the elbows down towards the earth. Letting the spine relax and the neck nice and loose. And let the head hang easily. Think of our rag doll. And activate the arms once again and let them continue walking over to the right. And let the left arm open up so we're in our side stretch this way. Make sure that left sits bone stays anchored. And then we open all the way up so those shoulders become stacked once again. And we'll pull up to our seated position, and you guessed it, switch which foot's in front. So we'll start with left hand up and over. Bring the left hand down to the mat. We're shifting our shoulders so we're facing the earth here. And slowly walk the hands around to the front, pausing when you get to the center. Let the elbows relax as far as it feels comfortable for you. And then get that back relaxed, and the neck loose, and the head just heavy. Surrendering to the earth. Activate the arms once again to continue walking over, step by step, over to the left side. And planting the left hand, we're going to open up the right arm, coming into our side stretch once again. And pull all the way up to our seated position. We're going to straighten out first one leg and then the other. Give it a little shake as we come into our seated staff pose. Our backs should be nice and tall. Feel that energy going right out of the crown of our heads, shooting up to the sky. And if you've been practicing a little while, I think all of us are feeling that we don't have to support ourselves so much in this posture to get that nice straight back. Relax the shoulders. And we're just going to fold forward gently. And we are going to hold this for a few minutes here. So really just think about finding that comfortable spot. I know sometimes you have to realign some of those bands that go in our muscles here, but just try to relax. The back is nice and loose. Our neck is relaxed and the head is just heavy. And just surrender. With each exhale, just really consciously try to just let go. And I know that sounds counterintuitive when you might be in a position that's not the most comfortable, but try to just make it more comfortable. So maybe loosen up those legs a little bit more. One last breath. And we can roll up to a seated position. Pull that right leg in. We're going to keep our hips in alignment today, so we're not going to cross it over, but go ahead and still pull it in as tight as you can to your chest. And we're still going to do a similar posture, so hug that in with our left arm and do a seated spinal twist from that staff pose. Try not to rock back on that right hand, keeping upright. And recover back to center. We'll let that right knee open up. And we'll fold forward gently once again. Rolling up to a seated position, straighten out that right leg. We'll draw the left leg in, hug with that right arm, and we'll look over the left shoulder. Seated spinal twist. Release, and as we come to the front, to open up that knee in our figure four here, and go ahead and fold forward gently. Roll up to a seated position. Pull that right leg in, cobbler pose. You can hold on to that big toe or your ankles, maybe even your shins. Just gently bounce. Back is nice and straight. Let's go ahead and swing those legs underneath us and come into a tabletop position on all fours. Our knees should be in line with our hips, and our wrists should be in line with our shoulders. Keep those shoulders nice and active here, as opposed to sinking into them. Try to stay nice and engaged. Pulling our core in at all times, so keep that stomach nice and tight. And we're going to go into our cat-cow breathing. So as we inhale, we go to cow, and you release that belly and open up the chest, looking forward. And as you exhale, you're going to tuck in the tailbone, tuck in the chin, arching the back up. Inhale, cow. Exhale into cat. And just keep going back and forth between the two postures at your own pace, at your own body needs. Just find what feels good and stay there a little longer if you need to, or move around a little bit. Let's go ahead and touch our toes. Have our knees as wide as our mat. Hips will sink back to the heels. Stretching those hands forward. We'll sink down to the mat in an active child's pose. If you feel a little uncomfortable today in your shoulders or your back, you can always pull those hands in and support your forehead. Rolling back up to a tabletop. We're going to align those legs again, so bring those knees in so they're with our hips once again. And we're going to sink the hips only towards the mat. Coming into high cobra. And then we're going to shift our weight back all the way to our child's pose again. So coming through. Shift and drop our hips forward and back through. That was 2, so we'll do 5 of these. And there's our 5. So as we roll up this time, dropping the pelvis down, keeping those elbows pressed in, we're going to lower our torso down as well. Reach our hands out straight in front of us to the top of our mat. And we're going to swim today. Not the kind of swimming I'm sure we want to do. So we're going to lift the left hand and the right leg and drop them down. Lift the right hand and the left leg and down. So we'll alternate between opposite hand and leg, back and forth. And if you can speed it up, go ahead. And finding stillness once again, we'll come into our crocodile. So pull both of your palms underneath your forehead and breathe. We'll shift our elbows so that they come underneath our shoulders. We're going to come up into a Sphinx pose. Really keep those shoulders active. Lengthen through the neck as we look forward. And you're going to listen to your neck today, so see if you can look over that right shoulder. Now if that felt good and you're fine, you can go into the next one. But if already this is tweaking a little bit and you don't want to go any further, You can either just straighten it back up or just gently keep looking over to the right. So if you're looking over to the right and you want more, we're going to bend that right leg up. All right, and again, you don't want to get out of whack here, so you already can feel this in your hamstring, in your quad, everywhere. So you can stay right here, and this is a great stretch. Or you can shift your weight to just your left elbow, reach back with your right hand, get the top of your right foot, and as we press that foot into our hand, it'll sort of pull you up off of your mat a little bit. Release the foot down, bring the hand back to center, and look forward. Do the same thing on the other side. So we'll look over that left shoulder, and it might surprise you. Maybe this one will be easier, maybe this one's tighter and you can't go as far. So listen to your body. Bend that knee up if it feels good. And if you want to try, you can go into the bind. So shift your weight to that right arm, reach back with the left, and push that foot into the hand, lifting yourself up so we're not sunk into our shoulder here. We're nice and engaged. So go ahead and release. And we're going to pull those hands so that they're underneath our shoulders. And we're going to float up to a cobra. So as we inhale, we're going to press into our hands, chin stays tucked, and we'll get to the highest part that feels good for our back. Keep those elbows pressed in. And then as you exhale, float back down with control, nice and slow. Inhale up. And exhale down. One last time. Excellent. Pressing into those palms, let's go through our tabletop. We'll tuck those toes and the hips, pressing those hips up to the sky. We'll come into our downward facing dog. Ooh, walk out the dogs at first. Ooh, my calves needed this. Back into school, so I'm wearing heels again, and all the leg can feel all these things. So as you look in between your feet, you should feel your ears in between your arms here, pushing out of your shoulders. Imagine that straight line between the heel of your hand and your tailbone. And as you start to press those heels down to the earth, those legs will start naturally straightening out. And we're going to walk our feet up to our hands. Keep our feet about hip distance apart, so kind of wide for us usually. And we're going to keep them bent quite a bit so we can really rest on our thighs here. As we come into that ragdoll pose we've been doing, find some movement here. A little swaying. Try to release that back. And we'll roll up one vertebrae at a time into a mountain pose. Maybe heel toe your feet in a little bit so it's more comfortable as your mountain pose. Tailbone tucked in, All four corners pressed equally into your mat. Thighs are active, so they're pulling up. Core pulled in. Shoulders are pressed down and back. Chin is tucked. And pull that head back a little bit so our spine is in alignment. We're going to inhale, both hands up. And we'll exhale to our cactus arms 3 times. So exhale down, pull those shoulder blades together. Inhale up, exhale down, and up, and 3, and up. And now this time we can just forward fold all the way down to our mat, planting both hands. Take a big step back with that right foot to come to a low lunge. Make sure our knee is in alignment with our ankle. Light on our fingertips so we can look forward and we get a nice straight line with our back. And go ahead and drop the back knee, untucking the toes as we come up to our crescent lunge. Bring those hands up if your balance feels good tonight. And then maybe even look up to your hands. Once again, exhale to our cactus pose 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And this time we're going to bring our hands down to the mat. Right hand stays down, left hand will reach up to the sky. As the left hand comes down, bring it to the inside of that right foot, prepping us for our dragon pose. So stay active here, and we'll just see what feels good for you tonight. So maybe you can go down onto your forearms. And maybe you can lift that back knee. If you did lift it, go ahead and lower that back knee. Walk your hands back under you. And we're going to walk that left hand to the outside. Lift the back knee so we're just in a regular low lunge. We'll bring that left foot back to meet the right. Downward facing dog. Bend both knees, look to the top of your mat, and make your way there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roots arise. And hands to our heart center to breathe. Inhale up. Cactus arms 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, forward fold. Big step back with your left foot to low lunge. Light on our fingers so we can look forward. Drop our back knee, untucking the toes so we can come up to a crescent lunge. Hands up. Look up to our hands. Exhale, cactus arms 3 times. And inhale. 2, 3. And Bring both hands down to our mat. Left hand plants, right hand up to a spinal twist. Bring that right hand to the inside of the right foot, so both hands are together on the inside of that right foot, prepping for our dragon pose. You go to the level that feels good, that you can keep the integrity of the pose and not hurt yourself. So right here is an amazing pose, good stretch. Stay here if that feels good for you tonight. Or you can try some of the other levels, coming down on your forearms. Or maybe even lifting that back knee. Okay, go ahead and lower the back knee. We can press back up with our hands. Bring the right hand back to the outside of that right foot. And we'll lift the back knee just to come into our low lunge once again. And we're going to bring that right foot back to meet the left foot, downward facing dog. And we're going to do a little vinyasa flow here. So you're going to lower your hips down to a plank. You might want to go drop your knees down to a half plank, whatever is in your practice or whatever you feel like tonight. Go ahead and lower down to the mat. Inhale up to your cobra. Float back down with your exhale. And then press back up to your plank. Lifting those hips. Downward facing dog. Bend both knees deeply. Let's look to the top of our mat. Make your way there. Exhale, forward fold. And let's inhale halfway up to a flat back. Really feel our necks lengthening. And we'll bring our arms out behind us in an airplane arms. Hands down to the mat, forward fold. Let's bend the knees deeply, and we'll come into a squat here. And lower, lower all the way down. Okay. I'm always more comfortable to do this last part in the lotus position, but if you want to keep your legs extended in staff, you're more than welcome. So we'll interlace our fingers and just do nice rotations for the wrist. And I'm going to extend, I have an accent tonight. Extend both hands out in front of us. Grabbing the fingers of the left hand, we'll pull the fingers back to the arm. And now I'll go the opposite direction, so point the fingertips down and just try to gently support the arm that way. Okay, we'll go to the other side. So right palm open, pull those fingertips back. And opposite. Okay, and release. You can maybe open your hands nice and wide a few times. Open the arms wide. And we're gonna let that left arm come up to the top. Reach back to pat ourselves on the back. And then the right hand, let's go ahead and reach over and grab that left elbow and maybe help it out a little bit here. Trying to keep the back up nice and straight. Release and open those arms. Now the right arm will come up, back behind. That left hand will reach over, grabbing the elbow, pressing. All the way open. All right, good job. Let's go ahead and roll down to our mats. Any way you want. Let's just go ahead and get down to our backs. Just let your arms be relaxed and down by your sides. Maybe the palms facing up. We're going to draw the right leg in and up. So that right leg, the knee is going to bend and come across our body to the left, but it's going to keep going. So we're not at the end yet. You're going to draw that knee up, across our body, open it up all the way, and now let the foot just slide down beside your mat until it comes right back in alignment with that left foot. So let's do that again. Left knee all the way across our body and back through center, opening all the way up. And then let the foot slide along the mat until it's straight in alignment. And you know I like threes, so we'll go one more time. Left, right knee across the body, through center, open all the way up, and then straighten along the mat. Good job. We'll go on the opposite leg, so that left leg is going to pull up and over the body, and it'll come through center. Open up on that left side, and then the foot will slide down along the mat until the leg straightens out. And this will be 2. And one more. Left leg over, through center, open wide, and slide down along your mat. That felt nice. So go ahead and bring both feet in so our knees are bent. And we can tilt the pelvis so that the lower part is tilting forward, the upper part is back. So you're pressing the small of your back into your mat. And release. And go ahead and press the small of your back into your mat. Release. And last one, press that small of your back into the mat. Hold it. And release. Now do that same pelvic tilt. We're going to go ahead and lift that pelvis up off of the earth as we come into a supported bridge. So we're up in the bridge, and then we can go ahead and let both hands come down alongside our body, and with that little press, maybe come up a little bit higher in that bridge. Keep those knees pressing towards each other. Don't rock out on our feet. And slowly roll back down. And we're going to come into the Shavasana portion of our practice. So if you want to add any props at this time, now's the time to do that. If you want a bolster underneath your knees or something under your neck, go ahead and grab those. Otherwise, let's go ahead and straighten first one leg out and then the other. Those arms are just down and relaxed beside our body. Shavasana begins with a body scan that goes from the tips of our toes all the way to the crown of our head, where we just relax and let go of all of our major muscles. And then you stay in that peace and quiet for a few moments. Probably one of the hardest things for us to do in society today. So big cleansing breath in and a big breath out. Wiggle those toes and then go ahead and relax. Just let go of them. Relax the feet. And feel that relaxation creep up our calves. And into the thighs. If you need to shake out any of the muscles to make them finally surrender, do what you need to do until everything is finally just loose and has let go. Release the hand. And as if on cue, you'll feel that relaxation creep up the arms. And approach those shoulders. This may take a few patient breaths to let the shoulders relax completely, but it's well worth it. Release the tension. Let go of the neck and the jaw, letting the mouth open up a little bit. And finally the muscles in the face, just release them. And feel all of the tension in our body, all of the stress of the day just be pushed out of the crown of our head. And with one final exhale, feel yourself grow heavy and melt into your mat completely.